Let's be real about tripping.
Tripping? Who tripping?
The person who's talking to the mic right now.
Me? Or you?
Oh, you tripping.
Anyway, the starter five back here again. Remember, we are powered by the Binge Podcast Network. Shout out to iHeartMedia and 1019 Kiss FM. You can listen to us on any podcast platform. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at LBR Sports 901 and join the Facebook group at the Let's Be Real group. All right, show order for today would be we're talking NFL, a whole bunch of things happened since I last recorded. Free agency and trades. We got college sports. It's NCAA tournament time. The bracket was released.
Yes. One of my favorite months of the year.
Yep. So
Crazy is the best month of the year, to be honest, when it comes to sports.
Really
Yeah.
Name a month. Ain't nobody counting on NBA finals because depending on who in it, don't.
Okay. Yeah,
really
you're right.
excited.
I just wanted to think. I just wanted to make sure.
Super Bowl was slow, so February All-Star game kind of slow. Yeah.
Well, Super Bowl is one day anyway.
Yeah.
Super Bowl is one day anyway.
Yep.
That's true. It's still in February, though.
We talking about
All-Star game.
I was saying like it's one day. You got,
back to back games.
True.
Well, you at your job with the game pulled up.
Exactly.
And your supervisor walk by and you just act like you wasn't even watching the game.
Exactly.
It's like I tweeted. If your man ain't texting you back,
you know what he doing.
you watching the game.
It's been a whole hour. Oh, it's halftime now.
They're on all day, Thursday and Friday.
Right, man.
I do got to commend people like Sharky because he was at the Tigers game watching like 4 other games on his phone. So I'm like, how you able to watch a game on your phone and be at the
Kentucky,
game?
bro.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
All right. And also after those talks, we'll be talking, have a real talk segment. Russell Westbrook had some things happen last week with the fans, so we dive to that. Then our famous troll and all. So first, let's go and knock this NFL out with the tripping person over here. Odell Beckham.
Who's tripping?
Traded to the Browns for Jabril Peppers, a first-round pick and a third-round pick. Took the floor first.
It's a lot more than Antonio Brown. I'll start off with that. Shots fired. Boom. Hey, Skylar, how you doing?
Not good, actually.
No, I was like, we found out literally when we were at the Jamel Hill lecture. Shout out to Jamel Hill for coming to the University of Memphis. Yep. And we were just looking around. Everybody was looking around, and I was like, man, what's going on? And we looked at our phones. It was like, oh, snap, this really just happened. So what I immediately thought of was, wow, like God really must be on my side because I did say that the Browns were going to go to the Super Bowl now. And I didn't say they were gonna make it to like the but Super Bowl.
He's making a confirmation now.
It's definitely a confirmation now. Like just to dive into it, man. I'm a huge Baker Mayfield fan. I did get a chance to watch him a lot more than my Carolina Panthers, and from what I was able to see, he's able to throw the ball right on the dart. And you give him the most. I'm not gonna say the best, but he's definitely the most electrifying, wide receiver in the game right now. And you combine him with Landry on the side, his best friend, and that defense is definitely going to be a top 5 defense. That's Super Bowl contention right there in itself.
Can I add that I ain't heard electrifying since The Rock was wrestling?
Because there's never been another electrifying, athlete,
Nobody uses that
since
terminology
then.
no more. I have not
but
heard
you know what I mean, though, right?
I get what you mean.
Hey, as long as you know what I mean, brother. But no, I was definitely excited. Super Bowl, I don't want to say champs because my Panthers may be in it, so I still got to go for my team.
They might be in Carolina. That's where they may be.
But just bringing the personality back. Like I even with a little conspiracy, just a little bit. But you are bringing some kind of personality back to the city of Cleveland because you took LeBron James out. You lost a lot of money. So what's a better way to make it back up in the NFL? You bring somebody like Odell Beckham. The floor is yours.
I must admit that when I saw this trade, I became very depressed. And I immediately thought about you, Tevin.
Thanks, brother.
Only because you mentioned a couple weeks ago in our group, and I think you also mentioned on the podcast that the Cleveland Browns were Super Bowl contenders. I'll say that. And so when you said that, I just kind of thought that was really funny. But to see the moves that they made, that the Cleveland Browns made, I think the general manager for the Cleveland Browns is Glenn Dorsey, I think is his name, which is the same guy that kind of put the Kansas City Chiefs. He put their roster together, and I think he came from Philly too, I think. So he has, yeah, exactly. So he has experience with putting teams together. And so, like I said, you see how he put the Kansas City Chiefs team together. and you see what he's been doing with the Cleveland Browns, it's honestly nothing short of amazing, really, to see like where this team is now compared to where the team was a year or two ago. And so when I saw the trade, like I said, I thought of you too. Sadly enough, I became depressed, and mainly because the Giants were able to get a first-round pick for Odell Beckham
in this year's draft.
In this year's draft, and that did nothing but made me even more sad because I'm like, how did the Pittsburgh Steelers not get a first-round pick for Antonio Brown?
Yep.
Regardless of what he's saying in the media, what he's putting on Twitter, all this different stuff, what he's saying about the team, how we not get a first-round pick for Antonio Brown, which I think, in my opinion, is the best receiver in the game. But Odell Beckham Jr. is definitely top 3. Mm-hmm. So this, as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, makes me extremely nervous. So props to the team, props to OBJ. I kind of knew he was going to get traded. I was hoping that he didn't because I actually liked him in the Giants uniform. But I kind of always knew that they really didn't want him. They didn't kind of like to deal with the backlash that kind of came with the Odell Beckham Jr. So I always knew he was going to get traded, but never once did I think he was going to get traded to the Browns. So again, they got a star receiver in OBJ. Their offense is, if you look at their offensive side of the ball, like if you look at the roster, it's good from Baker to I think David Njoku to
Nick Chubb, OBJ, Jarvis
Landry. Like the list goes on and on, but that's not the part that scares me. It's their defense and what they're adding to the defensive side of the ball, which is already a good maybe top 5, top 10 defense already. So they have done an amazing job, I must say, and I'm jealous.
I wouldn't say jealous on your part. I'd probably just say, like you said earlier, extremely nervous. Extremely nervous.
Yeah.
But you pretty much hit the nail on the head with everything that I was going to say about the whole thing, and it does it makes me go back to the Antonio Brown trade and how we did not get a first for him, but it is what it is. Kudos to the Browns. They're doing a great job right now in this offseason, so they're dangerous now on paper. All they got to do at this point apparently is stay healthy. Mm-hmm. So, of course, that's with any team, but if this team is able to stay healthy for most of the season, like, look out. But until someone knocks the Patriots off as far as the AFC is concerned, I'm not,
Second.
Yep.
Yeah.
Second.
That's good as me. Me too. Talk about Let's See the Buzzer, because I think we recorded the day after it happened. Odell, I mean, he's a great talent. They are stockpiling talent over there. We're gonna talk about Kareem Hunt next. He'll be back. He got that game suspension, but we'll talk about that next. But make the playoffs. I got them as playoff contenders. Like, make the playoffs first, and then after that, you still got growing pains in playoffs. Odell has been in the playoffs once, and we know how that went. You took that trip to Miami and dropped a bunch of passes. So yeah, they got a bunch of players who has no experience in that regard. So, and also an inexperienced coach, and that's why I believe they can make the playoffs. Even the division, they can win it, but the Ravens made some moves also, signed Earl Thomas and Mark Ingram. So they'll still be a force to be reckoned with. And even though the Steelers got rid of their talented players, the Steelers are historically a franchise that don't have players with egos, that talk a lot, they used to just take care of business. So they still are going to be right there in the race. But I believe the Cleveland Browns, they will probably should make the playoffs. They don't, it'll be a big disappointment. But Super Bowl, New England for sure, and Kansas City will get better also. So,
yeah.
I ain't seen the Browns in the playoffs in so long.
Right. Exactly. I got the playoffs first. Like,
Man.
Since Jamal Lewis days, ain't it?
True. Even then. I don't think, had they made playoffs since they've been back, since they moved back to Cleveland before?
I don't think so.
They haven't.
Cleveland, Baltimore, yeah.
What year was that?
They haven't.
I wasn't watching football. We was like little boys.
I'm trying to think.
I don't think we were born then.
out of my whole life, I've never seen the Cleveland Browns in the playoffs. To be honest with you, I can't call one time the Cleveland Browns was just like, oh my God, they're good.
Mm-hmm.
Not one time.
Not even decent until last year when they were almost
decent.
Could have made the playoffs, but things happen for a reason.
Nah, I can't.
Before we move on, I do want to give a special shout out to Dave Gettleman, our former GM.
Giants.
For the Giants GM. He was a guy that took away the Josh Norman contract, for those not familiar with Gettleman. So he has a record of, getting rid of, active players, for lack of better words.
Oh, yeah.
So, shout out to Dave Gettleman.
And allow Landon Collins to sign with the division rival, with the Redskins, with Josh Norman.
Yep.
Just like the Giants. I feel rest in peace to Giants fans right now. They need a moment of silence also.
Yeah, I don't.
No, rest in peace of Saquon Barkley. Because
Yo, have y'all
bro finna be
the quarterback. He finna be the running back.
Yeah,
he finna throw his own
Didn't they
ball.
talk about not drafting a quarterback? The GM was talking
He
about
finna throw his
Eli
own
Manning.
ball.
If you don't draft a quarterback, you are to be fired.
Yes.
The moment you hand the commissioner the card, the commissioner needs to say, and we
That John
also
Bettis-
fired the New York Giants general manager.
Yeah, exactly.
I have no arguments on them.
That John better say Kyler Murray or Dwayne Haskins or somebody. Like, you have to take a quarterback in this
Like,
situation.
I don't understand what they were doing by, like, if your plan is to rebuild, if your plan is to make yourself relevant again at some point, and I guess a lot of people are thinking for them to draft a quarterback. If you draft a quarterback, then what weapons do they have? You can't just draft a quarterback and then not give them weapons either. So by you trading Odell Beckham Jr., by you only having literally on the offensive side of the ball, only Saquon Barkley to be scared of.
Then they signed Golden State
Yeah.
to a 4-year deal.
Who knows?
As a Steelers fan, you just know that, okay, we ain't got it that bad. That's the only thing I was like, okay, we ain't got it that bad.
Yeah, that's true.
The Titans, like,
Yeah.
we're not in
Yeah.
shape.
A part of me wants us to just hold off on the brakes because we did talk bad about the Raiders and we see what they did with Antonio Brown. But at the same time, it's Dave Gettleman, so that's like the only thing stopping me from saying, hold on, y'all, let's just chill on all the Giant slander. But Dave Gettleman's in charge. I'm happy we get rid of him, so he's definitely he slander him as much as y'all can. Just wanted to throw that out.
All right. So next up, Kareem Hunt. His suspension was announced. 8 games. What are y'all thoughts?
Why he's not gonna appeal it? You're still in your rookie deal. You need money. Why are you not trying to appeal and actually make yourself worth something? 8 games is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Why not appeal it?
I think because he knows he's probably not gonna win it.
Yeah.
I think that's cutting
Yeah.
dry. Regardless, I think that's first offense domestic violence case in the NFL. I think if I'm not mistaken, it's either 6 or 8, something like
Yeah.
Yeah,
that.
it's 6.
It's-
He got 2
it's
more
6.
because of those other incidents.
I was
Yeah,
just about to say the
that's
other
why
ones.
it's 8. Yeah.
Yeah, so I just think he knows that he's not gonna win it. At this point, you just kind of take your L's and you just kind of run with it.
Yeah,
I
So
said
for me,
Yeah.
I said for long as Ezekiel Elliott should took the L.
Yeah.
He hurt
Yeah.
his team down the road for not.
Just go and take the L, come back in 8 games, win people fantasy football championships. Go to the Super Bowl.
bingo.
Be great.
Why you add that?
Why you at that? Trevor?
No, because I'm going to be Trevor to it.
I didn't even want to bring it up, but
Probably Trevor this year.
I didn't even want to bring it up, but hey, it is
going
what it
down.
is.
not to toot my own horn, but yeah. Yeah, but for me, it wasn't surprising. I kind of knew that he was going to get at least 6 or 8 games. So, I guess you just got to serve your time, just kind of sit on the sidelines until it's time for your name to be called.
Yeah, that's true. I know we were just talking about the Browns earlier with the OBJ deal. This could be an issue looming for them at this point. Because let's say he misses the 8 games and hypothetically Cleveland is 5-3, 6-2 at that point, and they're doing well with Nick Chubb. So how do you go about incorporating Kareem Hunt into the offense? Are you going to split carries with him like he did in Kansas City? Is Kareem Hunt going to be your starter? Is he going to be your backup?
Here's the thing with that. I don't think it's going to be an issue mainly because if you look at the Browns' schedule, they have a pretty weak schedule, to be honest with you. Like, I looked at the schedule and I got them going 12-4. Whatever running back they got, they're going to go about 12-4. Like, their opponents are pretty weak. So being able to implement him would probably be a piece of cake, really. That's just my opinion. But
Yeah, but also for me, it's not that big of a deal either. It's not like you got him signed for like 4 years, $60 million. You literally signed him for like 1 year and some change. Really.
Okay.
So for me, it's just, of course, Nick Chubb will be your starter, but
he wasn't bad at all.
Yeah,
he wasn't bad.
he's not bad.
He wasn't bad. He was actually really good.
Yeah.
So that I think that's something they probably won't even worry about. It'd be like, oh shoot, like 8 weeks is up. Hey, there you go, like that type thing.
Yeah.
My motto is, that's a good problem to have.
Yeah,
It is.
Yeah.
It really
Problem,
is.
honestly.
Yeah.
So, move over from that. It was a bunch. Well, it was free agency last week. Bunch of signings. First off, Le'Veon Bell. That was the biggest thing until the Odell trade. So He signed with the Jets. What was the contract again, Trevor?
4 years, $52.5 million, which rounds out to about a little over 13 a year.
35 guaranteed.
Yep, 35 guaranteed.
So,
Yeah, and I think with incentives he can get up to 60, from what I saw.
Okay.
So it's like he got his wish. Just a bunch of signings, like I said, Tyrann Mathieu signed with the Chiefs, but they
Chiefs.
also released Eric Berry. Got rid of D4 and Justin Houston. So
Yep.
I don't know.
Defense may still be like,
Yeah.
Bunch of other moves. I think we mentioned earlier about Earl Thomas and Mark Ingram signed with the Ravens. So just out of all the moves, which free agency? What was the most intriguing move outside of the Odell trade? What was the actual signing that was most intriguing to?
For me, I'm a big fan of Landon Collins, and for him to go to the Redskins, I thought was a sneaky big move. For me, I watched the Redskins a couple times. I think they had a Thanksgiving Day game against the Cowboys. Their defense is actually pretty good. I think they have like Mason Foster, Jonathan Allen. All these are like Alabama alums anyway. Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, Zach Brown, Mason Foster, Ryan Kerrigan. Hey, he's still there. And then Josh Norman too. So adding Landon Collins, who is a really good safety, not that good at covering, but to have him in your secondary with Josh Norman, I think for me that was a sneaky big move.
I'll go with the Ravens adding Mark Ingram and Earl Thomas. Thank God that Mark Ingram's getting out the NFC because I get tired going against him. But he's a really great running back. You put him with Lamar Jackson. I can't wait to see what they do with the Ravens. And then the Ravens defense got better. Adding Earl Thomas, he's hungry. We thought that he was going to go to the Cowboys, but I guess the Ravens said, you know what, whatever, we're going to get him and. That's going to be a pretty good defense as well. So I think those two moves were real intriguing.
Yeah, I just have to echo that as well because with the Ravens losing their running back, with him getting arrested and then them losing Eric Weddle to the Rams, you just thought maybe Baltimore would take a step back. But them adding Earl Thomas, who I'm pretty sure everyone 100% thought he was going to be a Dallas Cowboy, but that just came out.
Yeah, he
nowhere.
probably did.
Even he did as well. And then for them to add Mark Ingram as well, just help boosts their running game as well. And it kind of shows that they're probably going to try to do something similar to what they did towards the end of the season when they got hot, as far as we're going to stop people, we're going to run the ball, and then every once in a while we're going to utilize Lamar Jackson's arm. So it's getting scary in the AFC North right now, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, man, it's also the Ravens. Basically what y'all just said. I mean, after the Browns made their move for the Ravens to turn around and make those moves right after their trade, it was like, okay. They saying, like, nah, Cleveland. We're going to kick you out. We need to keep y'all down. So it's going to be very intriguing. The whole AFC got better significantly.
Yeah.
The AFC South, that whole division, any one of those teams win that division.
That's true.
You got the AFC North, everyone except the Bengals. The rest, you have 2 of the 4 teams. Broncos still may be a sleeper. I don't like Joe Flacco, but they still have the defense, and Joe Flacco might be better than the other quarterbacks that they had the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And then you have the AFC East. Of course, you got the Patriots.
And everybody else.
Jets have gotten better, but the Patriots are still winning. But the Jets could be a sneaky, good team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
The Jets are weirdly consistent. And I don't, they lose games, but they're close. They got that Cleveland Brown edge, was like they lose games, but it's close games. And with Le'Veon going in their offense, that's gonna be a good offense. It's gonna be sneakily good, really.
I'm just ready to see how they're going to utilize them.
Me too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I hope they don't overuse them. I hope they don't.
You got Sam Darnold that's coming in his second year. They're probably going to be looking to overuse him. So
I've always said I just want to see what Le'Veon Bell looks like behind a different offensive line.
Yeah,
I've always said that, like, because I just know our offensive line and how good they are. So like I said, I just want to see if he can put up the same numbers. Not to say that I don't think he can. I just want to see it for myself. That's it. And I hope they didn't overpay for him either.
Blake Bortles signed with the Rams.
To do what?
Quarterback.
back up. There you go.
I was going to say to do what?
Yeah.
Hold a clipboard?
Probably.
Ash, you got something?
No, y'all good.
All right. So we move on to college sports. We'll start with an update on our beloved Memphis Tigers. So the ASC championship game, ASC tournament was here in Memphis this past weekend, and Memphis, my prediction, most of our predictions came true. They got to the game against Houston, the semifinal game on Saturday, and lost by 3. Now they're in the NIT. It's a 3 seed?
Yes, they're a 3 seed.
Against San Diego. So I guess what are y'all thoughts on how they performed? What are y'all thoughts on how they fared this season in the tournament?
Well, I'll start off with an apology to Isaiah Maurice.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll admit when I'm wrong, because I think on the last episode I kind of trashed him a little bit.
Man, you still play like trash against Houston.
They're still playing against Houston, but I think
gotta give props to the game for that.
Yeah. I mean,
Central Florida.
The way he played against Central Florida was nothing short of spectacular. I think the way he was able to knock down a couple shots, rebound, hold his own against Taco Fall. I was like, shoot, like this is good. And then also as I was sitting there watching it, it was just me sitting there thinking like Penny Hardaway is good at getting the best out of his players when he can do it.
Yes.
And for you to get, I think Isaiah Maurice ended up with like 15 points, a couple boards, or something like that. For you to get that stat line out of him in a game like that, like I just thought that was like that's Penny Hardaway all over again. So again, my apologies to Isaiah Maurice. Let's see here. I really hate that they lost the game to Houston. I felt like they could have won the game, but at the end of the day, the better team won. Officiating was a little suspect, if I must say so myself.
Yes.
But I think at the end of the day, when we talked about this last week, Memphis now has 21
wins right
21
now.
wins on the season, which is about the same that they had last year under Tubby Smith, but their net rating is better. They're rated much lower in KenPom this year than they were last year.
Tougher schedule.
Yeah, tougher schedule with Tubby
Yes.
Smith, and then we're not going to even talk about like the amount of people that are going to the games now. Like how much people are more excited to go to games. People are actually going to games.
Yes.
This year, so it's been nothing. It's been nothing short of amazing, and I think anything that he does, whether they lose this game, whether they win in the NIT, I think it's just nothing. It's icing on the cake at this point.
Yeah, being at the tournament, that crowd, it wasn't. I guess we thought it may be sold out, but of course Thursday and Friday games work. People at work.
Yeah.
That Saturday, it was still Saturday afternoon, St. Patrick's Day. It was a parade going on Beale Street and all type of things, but that crowd was electrifying.
Yeah,
just that feeling if it is formed.
Let me take my word.
Huh?
Word of the day is electrifying.
Apparently.
You breaking it back in style then. Shout out to you too.
Hey.
But yeah, that game, that helped. Just the crowd, that experience being at this tournament was pretty amazing. Just that scene of blue. It was nice.
For a change.
Yep.
Yeah, for a change. Yeah. For me, man, it was just a sight of things to come for this great city and for the Tigers. I'm with Skylar on this one. I was entirely shocked at Isaiah Maurice's performance against UCF. Would have loved to have gotten a rematch with Cincinnati in the AAC championship, but hey, as we mentioned, the better team did win in Houston, so I'm excited, man. So I'm excited. That's all I can say on that one, man.
My sentiments just cover everything that y'all said. The crowd was like we said, electrifying. It was a good vibe. Definitely hate that we lost against Houston. I think we could have did a lot better in the first half because there were a few instances where we were on fast breaks, and the extra pass would have probably more than likely resulted in the score. So I think
we missed a lot of layups in the first half.
I think we were trying to just play too much hero ball, either A or B. We were tired.
Yeah.
And C, with our, X factor second best player hurting himself in the bathroom, that didn't help at all. with Kevin, but you heard about that? Kevin Davenport hurt himself like knee or something in the restroom.
Yeah.
So that's why he was
the night before the game.
What you do, slip?
We don't know.
And Penny didn't even know until the game started.
That's some glory road stuff. Shit.
Wow.
So that means it was an excuse. But
it's not an excuse. But it's saying if Kevin was healthy, who knows what the outcome of the game would be. But overall,
but your star player still shot 3 of 17 at one point in the game.
That's 100% true.
5-24.
I finished with 5 and 24.
Yeah.
And
I love the free throws.
You want me to go down and you shooting up?
It was just a terrible shooting.
It was terrible.
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 Tyler Harris went like 0 for 7.
Mm-hmm. And I think even when 5 minutes within the game, it was like we only had like 5 rebounds, and Bruton had all of them.
Here go a crazy stat line for you. Houston only scored like 1 point in the last 9 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Shout out to Alex Lomax. His defense.
7 possessions they didn't get anything,
and they kept missing free throws.
Mm-hmm.
They kept missing free throws too. I was like, God,
yeah,
and we were making our free throws. It was so odd to see.
Exactly.
like Travis said, I think there's just a time for us to see what's truly to come with the Tigers. At the beginning of the season, I said we were going to win the NIT, so fingers crossed on that one.
Come true.
Huh? I mean, fingers crossed on that one. I done said some outlandish stuff, but
y'all talking about me with all this luck.
I can't wait to see it just all come to fruition.
Yeah, exactly.
As much as I don't want to say it, took Loki being right about a lot of stuff lately.
Yeah.
Hey man,
but one last thing, man, before we move on, while we on the subject of the Tigers, I just want to take the opportunity to call out ESPN for all the numerous mistakes that they made.
They tripping.
They is tripping right now with all the mistakes they made.
Call them out. What were those mistakes?
Let's see. The first one was the James Wiseman one. They highlighted just some random guy in the stands who was just tall and had the same hairdo as James Wiseman. I'm sitting here watching, and I'm like, yo, I'm pretty sure James Wiseman's in Murfreesboro right now in the state tournament.
Don't folks.
Yeah.
And what was the number 2?
Oh, and the second one, of course, the introductions when they were showing the pictures.
Kareem Bruton Jr.
apparently, Tyler Harris has changed his name to Kareem Bruton. All right, ESPN, come on, man, get it right, man.
And since we shouting out people, shout out to the Houston band too. Yeah,
oh,
it is.
Yeah.
Hey, you listen to Instagram.
The Instagram.
The Instagram beef is hilarious.
All the Memphis. What's up?
Yeah.
Everything beef. I think we had the wrong person beefing with him though. Mike Parks had 1 point, and he over there talking to us.
You can't be talking to us at 1 point out.
Exactly. Chill out, Mike.
But before we move on, I gotta take some shots fired at Kelvin Sampson, Houston coach, since he tried to take some shots at Penny in the press conference.
Yeah.
So when we walked in, I don't know, Took saw me. I just put my head down as soon as he had said talking about some Penny had a good situation with the 5 seniors returning, the 5 players he started. Normal coaches don't have that, so he came to it pretty good.
So you mad because I ain't start from scratch?
Right.
Pretty much.
He's friends with Tubby.
He's just riding for
my
Tubby.
whole
That's
thing
all
is
it
Kelvin Sampson. Didn't you don't get caught in another cheating scandal like you did in Indiana.
Bang, bang.
See you next year.
Exactly.
I gotta say.
We want the smoke, I'm telling you.
And don't get caught in cheating scandal before we whoop your ass.
All these teams are gonna look back and be like, "Dang, we should have treated Memphis with more respect," especially Tennessee. Sorry, Sharky. But
I got trouble now for my fellow Tigers, which is going to stay tuned.
Okay.
Shout out to Lester Keonis as well too. He was here, big recruit from Memphis. He was
here. Shout out.
He said I followed him on Twitter, and he was just talking about how much he loves the city, how like he felt like a rock star while he was here. People were asking him for autographs. People were like chanting his name and stuff at the game. Like this is like during the AAC tournament. So like for him to feel welcome, to feel home in Memphis, this is like Penny is at it again.
Yep.
And we boycotted the Chick-fil-A on Union. Yep.
Kicked him out of line.
Wait
Stand with us, y'all.
First of all, he felt at home until he walked out of FedEx Forum. Why are we boycotting?
That was on his way to the feds for him.
Yeah.
Bro.
He got kicked out of Chick-fil-A line. Well,
They say apparently he cut the line.
Yeah, he was cutting the line and stuff.
And he got kicked out.
First of all, have you seen the way that Chick-fil-A set up?
Yeah.
We I think everybody immediately knew which one he got kicked out of.
It happened to me earlier when I was on the one on Winchester.
You gotta know who you kick out of line though.
Exactly.
You don't kick him out of line.
So
just not on that day. Just wait. Just wait.
He's a shooter.
Wait till he signed. Wait till he signed his letter of intent. Yeah.
Well, he can't go nowhere.
Chick-fil-A need to fly out. Get that man personally a chicken sandwich.
It's
So for it.
Yeah.
So next up, we break down our NCAA tournament predictions. So the bracket was released yesterday, and the tournament starts tomorrow. So when the episode gets released on Wednesday, the tournament will start the next day. So tomorrow, Thursday. What are y'all finding for predictions?
I'll go first. I have Duke, Tennessee, Kansas, and a random team that always happens is Florida State for me. So yeah, and I have, let me see, what's it? Duke and Tennessee in the national championship, and I got Duke winning it all.
My Final Four, it was tough with the East region because you don't want to always pick Duke. You have to pick against them, especially where they're highly favored. They're consensus #1 overall. Yeah. And then you have Michigan State, who, when they're projected to win it, they always drop the ball. Flashback into the year they were a 2 seed and they lost to MTSU. Shout out to the Blue Raiders. But Duke just has the most talent out of everyone in there, so I have them in. I have Gonzaga coming out of the West. I have Tennessee somehow, some way, making it out the South. They got the short end of the stick at the bottom half of their bracket, with them having to go through Cincinnati, potentially Villanova or Purdue, and then ultimately Virginia. And then I got North Carolina coming out of the Midwest. I have Duke and Tennessee in the national championship, and I have Duke winning.
For me, I really, really don't want to pick Duke. We kind of talked about this off air. A lot of times when you have a consensus pick, when March Madness comes around and everybody fills out their bracket, everybody kind of like, okay, well, this team's going to win. Typically, that doesn't happen.
First of all, what Big Blue is you not going to put in your Final Four to win?
I mean, I'm not going to be stupid and not put them in there. I'm just saying.
Most of the years, I'm going to count in Kentucky this time. Or this time I'm counting in North Carolina. Or Duke. What year do you not say that?
Yeah, which is true. I mean, like I said, I don't want to pick Duke. Like Trevor said, you don't want to pick Duke, but then it's like you kind of can't go against them.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm going to go with Duke. I didn't even put my bracket together, so I'm going to say Duke. Out of the East, out of the South, I'm going to go with Virginia. Don't judge me. Kentucky out of the Midwest, and Gonzaga out of the West.
Okay. So who's your final two? Who wins it all?
Final two, I'm going to go with
Duke.
I really would want to see Duke and Kentucky again. Low key. I would really want to see Duke and Kentucky again. So I'll say Duke and Kentucky. And for now, the time being, Duke would win it. But I mean, that may change. That may change.
That's probably going to change after this weekend.
I actually got a trolling all about Duke, actually.
Okay.
Bang, bang. Teaser.
Actually, I don't blame you about Virginia. I've been thinking about, like, how Villanova. So Virginia is basically going through what Villanova went through.
Mm-hmm.
They just get put out early around about, 3 or 4 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Then they finally broke through and won the national championship.
Yeah.
I thought Virginia was going to do it last year. Then lost the 16th seed. So I'm never, ever choosing them again. I
set that up like you was going to pick them to go for
Our show was
I
like,
picked them to win the national championship last year because they did the same thing. I like, they're going to play Villanova. They're going to finally break through.
and he just got everybody.
Again. But my Final Four, it goes as follows. I have Duke winning the East. They would play Texas Tech in the Final Four.
It's not a bad one.
That's not a bad one.
It's always a random team. Good pick.
I came close to putting my Vols out in the second round because we got a road game at Cincinnati.
You ain't a fan.
But Tennessee fans travel. I learned
they do.
in the SEC tournament.
Yes, they
and as long as we're not playing a team like Auburn, I feel confident in that region. So we will get to the Final Four. And I have North Carolina getting in from the Midwest region. In the Final Four, I have Part 4, Duke and North Carolina. And North Carolina will beat Duke. With Zion on the floor this time for the national title.
Bang, bang. Okay.
All right, so for mine, definitely Duke coming out the East. Got to ride with my boys. As far as the West, I'm going to go with a wild one, say Michigan.
Not bad.
That's not a bad pick.
They shock you every once in a while, honestly. Them and Michigan State.
Well, they got to the championship last year.
Michigan don't play Michigan State, they're good. And they don't play Michigan State no more, so they're good.
So, those, to me, that's always the underdog. You'll never see Michigan coming, regardless if it's Michigan State or Michigan.
Good one.
Midwest is kind of hard to go against my boys in Kentucky. But at the same time, I'm feeling North Carolina. But when it comes down to that matchup, I feel like North Carolina will pull that out. I don't know. I just got that feeling for one. They got a good shooter. I can't think of his name.
From North Carolina?
Little.
Cam Johnson.
Johnson.
That boy can put up some buckets.
Yeah, but
golly.
See, I didn't like this weekend where he didn't take the last shot. Like, I feel like if you're the best player or the better player on the floor, you've been hitting majority of the game, you almost touching 30 points, you need to go demand for the ball.
Yeah.
You've been shooting. There's no reason why you should be in the paint. I didn't enjoy it, but hopefully he learn from that and grows from it.
That's why I got them beating Duke in the national championship.
Quick question on that. How much of that do you think is him not demanding the ball, and how much is that is Roy Williams?
50-50.
Okay.
Honestly, because if you're a scorer, you're going to go out there and get it. But at the same time, if a play is drawn up for somebody else, you're not going to break play. You're just going to do your part.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
I mean, Roy Williams, it's been years since he's been in, so you're not going to go against it. It's kind of like going against Coach K. You going to go against his game plan?
That's true.
All right.
That's true. You got the South.
Definitely not picking Tennessee, I can tell you that.
Well, duh, he's a Kentucky fan.
Right. Hey, don't be mad out that lost, man.
Yeah.
Y'all up about 8 or 3 minutes ago. Sorry. Should have pulled it out.
If I had to take one out, Villanova chokes most of the time.
Villanova ain't good this year, dog.
They're not that good.
That's what I'm saying. They choke
Yeah.
most of the time. So honestly,
We should have had Tennessee, Kentucky part 4. That'd have been nice.
Ooh wee.
I'm not picking Tennessee. It's a wrap.
Pick Colgate.
All right, so we're just gonna go. We're gonna
Shut
ride
up,
with
Too.
Virginia.
If we lose to Colgate, bro.
I'm
It's
done.
over.
I'm done. Rick
I
Barnes.
ain't watching another tournament game.
Yeah.
And I'm instantly starting a petition to get Bruce Purdy back in Tennessee
Easily.
right after the game.
All right. So quick.
My final two would be Duke.
You still ain't pick who you got from the South?
He did. He picked Virginia.
Oh,
He said Virginia.
Okay.
So Duke
Duke and
and
Virginia.
maybe North Carolina. It may be.
Man, I'll pick Virginia to win the national title.
I wanted to think about that. I just can't. I can't commit to that. I really can't. It's a route, and I got Duke pulling it out as long as Trey Jones shows up, and RJ and Zion don't have to do every single thing.
Gotcha. And we get a little showing from Cam Reddish along the way.
Yeah,
too.
that too.
Hella inconsistent. I do not
Him
like
and
him.
Trey Jones.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
enjoy
Trey
neither
Jones for me, Trey Jones is inconsistent because if you know his game, you know he's not going to give you much offensively.
Right.
But if you watch him defensively, like he's good. The only person he ain't been able to lock up is the guy Kobe
North
White.
Carolina, Kobe
That's
White,
the only
yeah.
person he ain't been able to lock up.
Right,
And
they're
every time he played Kobe White give him buckets every time. So it's just a matter of you got to. For me, Trey Jones, he's not gonna give you much offensively. If he gives you 10 points, then you know you're gonna win the game.
It ain't the amount of points. It's honestly just making it at the right time.
Yeah,
Giving me the points at the right time. It's been times where he could have knocked down an open 3 and he doesn't.
Yeah,
and that's kind of disappointing. Same goes with Cam Reddish too.
Mm-hmm.
Now you just don't leave him wide open or whatever, but those guys don't knock down shots when you really need them to.
Mm-hmm.
So I need them to actually do that to pull out this win in the tournament.
Okay. All right. Seeing as this is the first weekend, everybody's favorite thing about the tournament, upsets.
Man, I got
Do
some-
y'all have any?
I almost got all 12 seeds winning. Literally. I think the only seed I don't have winning is Oregon. I got all
And I actually have Oregon. So
I got almost all 12 seeds winning. The East region, I almost got an upset almost every game.
I'm calling mine.
I got Liberty beating Mississippi State. I got Belmont beating Temple, then beating Maryland. I actually got Belmont making the Sweet 16 because they're gonna play Yale because Yale gonna beat LSU.
I was just about to say Yale's beating LSU. I'm calling that right now.
I think that was
You
on
can
mine,
book
too.
that. Yale is beating
gonna be
LSU.
I got Murray State Marquette beat the game of the first round. John Morant versus Marcus Howard. I have
Murray State
winning that one.
Yeah.
Let me see some other upsets I have. I also have New Mexico State beating. That was tough. I got them beating Auburn, and I have Northeastern beating Kansas.
I almost went there, but
And
I
that's
was
not
like,
no hatred for Kansas either. I'm just
I
I seen.
almost went there, but I think Dietrich Lawson would be too much for them.
I think Ohio State and Iowa. I think Ohio State will beat Iowa State.
Actually,
That's a coin toss for me.
I got Iowa State going to the Sweet 16.
I got another one that I got for sure.
Kansas State loses.
I got UC Irvine knocking off Kansas State in the first round.
That was gonna be my biggest one.
That's the one I almost chose, but I got Kansas State beating in Virginia in the Sweet 16, so I had to have Kansas State win the first round in order to beat Virginia.
What if Colgate beat Tennessee?
Ouch.
Hey,
Call my phone. Don't call my phone.
I'm not calling you.
I'm gonna be real with y'all.
I just know you're gonna come to the podcast.
I was just about to say this, man.
I'm
We ain't
calling-
recording this week.
Sick day. Nah, y'all can record. Sick day. I'm taking the sick day.
I'll be here, man. I'll hold it down.
So the title of that junk gonna be "Let's Be Real About P Sharp."
Yep.
Yep.
Y'all can name it too.
I don't think that's gonna happen. Tennessee is really good. I think they have their moments where I'm not sure what's going on with him.
I think here go what happened Sunday against Auburn.
Auburn just couldn't miss.
Auburn couldn't miss. Games where it's like, okay, Bruce Pearl, former coach, he really wanted to win it. We just beat Kentucky again. That game we were down by 8 with 3 minutes to go, and that's a big rival.
But you lose the most important, your former.
They do, but I'm saying after that emotional game against Kentucky, they kind of came back out. Cause Grant Williamson said they came out was like
flat.
Yeah, they thought they had it. It was like, oh, we gonna win it. They came out.
So
like
basically, the game against Kentucky to them was the SEC championship,
which it felt like.
But it wasn't.
And then he got Auburn attempted 43, acting like the Houston Rockets out here and making about five.
Making them just. And these were just like they right on the line. These was like from the half.
I'm like, these folks passed up layups. Like Golden State out here. I was like, you know what?
The way we play is revolutionized.
So I'm looking at Tennessee's bracket, and I was like, you know what? We ain't got to play nobody like Auburn.
So I ask y'all this: do y'all think a shooting team like Auburn can run deep into the tournament?
I think they
can. At this rate, they can get to at least the Sweet 16, and that's what I think I have.
But they also can get put. They're the type of team that can make a run to Elite 8, but they also can get put out in the first round. So yes, I believe they can, but they can't win the tournament, but they can make a run. But they also can get put out in the first round.
Yeah, because I think you got to win 6 games to win the whole thing, and not too many teams can put 6 games together like.
6 games in a row.
Yeah, 6 games in a row shooting that well. Like you you're gonna have an off game. Like it's
fine.
That's how the basketball gods work. You're gonna have an off game, so it's a matter of like
Auburn, the type of team they can't put out a win. They have off game.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard to see. So like Trevor said, you can see them in the Sweet 16. If they shoot like they did against Tennessee for 6 games, by all means, hey, have it.
You can have it. It's well deserved.
I was like, God, I mean, Tennessee. I mean, there were times that they could have came back, and then Auburn was like,
he hit like 2 threes.
He got 3 more threes right for you. And they were not playing.
It was just one of them games. It was like, you know what?
Yep.
Yeah. And before we get off this topic, my biggest thing about the bracket was I felt like the committee had this done before Sunday because there's a couple of like conference championship teams in here that won their tournament, and like Oregon is seeded low, Cincinnati is seeded low, Auburn is seeded low. So I'm just like, did y'all do this like on Friday or Saturday? Like, what y'all doing? Like that was my biggest issue with it. Plus, I don't like how they did Duke, but that's just me.
Oh yeah. So also, big off your point, they really outside of just like the actual numbers, where they see the teams. This is probably the least most argumentative that I've heard about the bubble.
Yeah.
They got the teams
right.
They got the
teams
right
this year. They got the seeds right. They finally got the teams right.
Which is the committee can never get both right.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's gonna be one or the other.
They can never get the teams and the seeding. They can never get. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So move on to our real talk segment. We talked about it's basically pertaining to basketball, fans in the action with players. So last week, if y'all don't know, you should know. Westbrook got into it with Utah fan, told him he was gonna beat the F out of him and his wife. Apparently, of course, the fan he lied. They want to know. He gave that BS story talking about something. He told him to put some ice on his knees. He told him to put get down on his knees like he used to. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he tried to hurry him to delete his Twitter. I already got caught.
Yeah. First of all, I love Black Twitter.
Yep.
And I love Twitter at night. Because they find them the best detectives when the CSI crime
boy. But nothing on Black Twitter.
Exactly. It's a wrap. Anything from years ago, you just be like, so how did you get this out my tweets? Like that was 23,000 tweets ago. How did you get this? Like I just don't understand. Yeah. They found it real quick. You found hate speech in it. Mm-hmm. And it was just like
Westbrook.
There was one about Westbrook.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's just like, to me, it's just like, what you got against Westbrook? What has he done? He might give you buckets, but what has he done?
Right.
I guess at the end of the day, like, there's no reason. You get enjoyment out of coming to the game and doing that. Now you banned.
And Utah has it bad.
They got it bad.
Yeah, that's Utah's crowd as a whole.
They banned their fan for life. They also banned another fan that Westbrook got into in the playoffs last year.
Yep, it was playoffs last year. The video surfaced for that.
Donovan Mitchell came out with a statement like they got to do better.
Because I imagine he's getting hate speech when he don't close out a game or play it like he's
more likely.
More
likely.
I imagine so. So it's just like
also you go back to the brawl at the Palace with 15 years ago now?
I told you on
Dang,
Twitter.
that was 15 years ago.
Yeah,
Yep.
time fly, bro. We ain't that young no more.
Being in school, like, bro.
Exactly.
Dang, 15 years ago.
But honestly, if it's not corrected and it actually gets out of hand, like I said on
That can
Twitter,
happen again.
that can happen again. And whoever throws the punch, regardless, probably will take the fines, whatever, as long as they get their point across.
Yep.
Whether it's Westbrook, who else will go out into the crowd right now?
Boogie.
Boy, that's a good one.
He going to get the strap almost. Yeah, it's over with.
That's a good
Good
one.
thing
Yeah.
Zebo ain't
Zebo, he would definitely do it. I mean,
Matt
it's just,
Barnes after league too.
you got certain NBA hotheads that'll definitely fly out there and do it and pull a Jermaine O'Neal and Ron Artest, and then
And Steven Jackson.
Steve Jackson.
They're gonna want they're actually gonna want that player to probably get suspended or be out the league, but you'd want it started. But hopefully it doesn't make it to that point. But I feel like it's gonna have to make it to that point for something drastic to change.
Yeah.
But what can they do to really change? Because you can't. Because I know fans, the NBA or basketball periods, like on the sport where fans like on the court, like you actually can touch the players. You really can't.
So do more instances like this
Well,
one where the team is actually doing investigation and finding out what happened and actually banning the fan. Sometimes fans take things too far.
Yep.
Like we don't know sometimes how to keep it as a fan, and I think in this case that he wasn't doing it at all.
That was a pass.
Like we have to understand,
Yeah.
athletes are people just like we are. Just because like they making millions of dollars, just because they got this fancy lifestyle of living, that doesn't mean we can just talk to these people have any way we want to. Like you wouldn't be a basketball player and have stuff said to you like these players are. So we just have to learn how to control our fandom, control what we say, and just go to the game just for the enjoyment.
Just support your team.
Yeah, just support your team.
Man, also I said this on Bussy with too. The security guard and Usher didn't do anything.
Yep.
Like
that's where it starts.
That's where I was gonna say they need to hire
better security.
and better ushers.
We ain't been paid enough.
Let me be like this: younger
them
security and
more.
ushers, and
Yeah,
pay
pay
them
them
more.
more.
Yeah,
They sure
Simple
have
as
somebody's stepdad that's 67 being a security guard. Like, bro, what did you
who are you
secure?
stopping?
What did you secure?
He just trying to tell you seat 13 is up there.
Exactly.
That's what he getting paid to do.
And just watching the game.
Get his grandson in the game for free. That's all he's supposed to do.
I know y'all gonna look at me crazy when I bring up this name. I mean, it was back in a while ago. Antonio Davis.
That's a name
He
for you.
played in
That's a name.
Chicago. His somebody threatened his wife in the stands.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He got
Oh,
issue
yeah.
in the stands.
Like,
He got a whole nother issue.
That's
I
a
was in the stands,
whole
like,
nother
You
nah.
got folks, families at the game.
Exactly.
I'm
And you
pretty,
talking
like
about their
Westbrook
families?
just said, like he gonna go to the end for his family.
Yeah.
Like these folks travel.
I mean,
They
if you
wives
go,
at home,
if you
stuff
gonna
like
heckle,
stuff like
if you gonna heckle someone from the other team, like at least do it
sportsmanlike.
sportsmanlike. Like just talk about how your team is better or something like that. Or it could be that one guy who was from Memphis that was checking Alan Crabb from the
that's
Trailblazers.
what we
You could do
talking
that.
We probably the only. We probably the only.
You
people
trying to
that
look
do
like
that.
Odell ain't a big fella.
Memphis crowds here. These other places.
Exactly.
But we are pro play city too. So.
Yep.
For me, I just think that what I want to say, we can say that we want things to be different, but I think it's just really a part of the game. Like one of the fan experience, if I'm paying, $500, $1,000 to sit courtside, I want to be able to say whatever I want to say. I want to get up under the player's skin as much as I can so that my team, if they're away, I want my team to win by any means possible. So, I'm going to get up under Russell Westbrook's skin because he is the guy that, has the attitude playing mad all the time. So if I'm able to get under his skin, my team is able to win at the end of the day. And I think that's what's going on in the fans' mind, especially if it's drinking in their system, you know what I'm saying? They paying the price of seeing the game, their family there, so they may be trying to show out in front of their family. Like this instant when the guy's probably trying to show out in front of his wife, who I guess that was her first game too.
Yep.
So if I can say whatever I want to Russell Westbrook, and my wife probably thinks I'm the man. So ain't no telling what's going on. I'm just saying, like, ain't no telling what's going on in these people's heads.
That's
but
true.
I think that's just a part of the game. We do need to get better security. Like you said, Trevor, we need to get younger security. But I think it's just a part of the game.
Can we get the Reggie Miller type of beast from the fans? That's the type of stuff that fuels the game.
And that's
it go too far, but it's like it's not over.
It's not over. Yeah, it's not.
It's not over. It's actually like that's a memorable moment.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
You know, he went to start scoring on you. Let that be something. Don't give me the hate speech and stuff like that. Like I'm not out here to entertain you. I'm out here to make my livelihood and enjoy what I do.
And they backfired on their fan because Westbrook went off out of there.
Yes, he did.
I mean, that's kind of like the best way that a player can go off. Like the Reggie Miller thing, the Reggie Miller choke sign is definitely going on in my head right now. It's like that's the best way to react to a fan talking noise.
Don't forget the nut grab.
I mean, we could take like when Kevin Hart was talking crap to D Wade and D Wade went off last year. You know, it's just if you want to talk trash, okay, let's get it.
Boy, and another thing, Russ was efficient that game too. I was like,
okay, proud.
Bro was efficient that game. I was like,
wasn't efficient against the Golden State.
Yeah,
oh Lord, bro was what 2-15.
We ain't gonna talk about that one.
Man, y'all know when y'all play somebody better than y'all gotta try to show out or actually play up to your level. So you gonna take shots that you normally ain't gonna take. You gonna do everything else.
I know.
I mean,
this is a weekly thing for Russell Westbrook.
Yeah,
and every week he got a two. He got a 2 in his back pocket.
Yep.
Yeah, he tried to take his Golden State. He was like,
he was trash.
He was terrible against Golden State. I was like, yep. It's. I was like, all right, where's the bad Russell Westbrook shooting at? Okay, here it is.
Yeah, I just ran the thought about why we having this discussion. So Chris Brandon show last week, they was talking about this whole thing with Westbrook. They was talking about a fan at the Grizzlies game one time. And dude was like right behind the bench, like a couple rows behind him. Every time like they had a timeout or something, I guess he played Chandler. JB played Chandler Parsons. So the fan kept getting up. Was like,
that's not his name.
Good job.
That's not his name. Well, that's not his name.
Pimp Parsons.
Yeah,
I'm saying,
Pimp Parsons.
The fan didn't say Pimp Parsons. He don't know Pimp Parsons. So the fan kept getting up like, all right, good job, y'all. Good job, team. Good job, JB. Oh, yeah, remember, don't put Chandler Parsons in the game. The whole game.
Wow.
And like, bro, like Cup Rose had
That's
a bitch. I was
hilarious.
like, road. I was like, bro, let me have been a fly on that wall.
That sound like a Memphis fan.
That's a Memphis fan for you.
Pimp Peasy. Shout out to Pimp Peasy.
Yeah, he had double-digit points last game. Too.
Pimp hard. Pimp hard. That need to be his thing.
I was shocked when I heard that on the radio. I was like, what?
It's not. No, it's not.
Hey, shout out A-Ball MJG.
Before we
Shout out
go
to
anywhere,
them.
we gonna hear about Chandler Parsons because guess who just came in town?
Who?
Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Manziel.
Hey, shout out Johnny
So guess who
Manziel.
about to hang out? We gonna see them two clubs somewhere.
I'm gonna be a 10 roof.
Yep. There you go. Yep. That's what they gonna be at.
I'm gonna be a 10 roof.
Turn it up.
10 roof and Jerry Lee Lewis. That's all.
Wait, what? Oh man.
Shout out to Johnny Manziel though.
Yeah,
Hey, yeah. That's
He
gonna be some
better
fun
start
times. We can actually go
He
to the
need to
games.
start. Yeah.
He better
and
start.
have fun.
He better
Yes.
start.
Yeah.
I ain't going nowhere until you start.
I didn't know he's starting exactly.
1-5. He better be starting. Mike Singletary.
Yeah.
Or get somebody who will start
mess it
him.
up.
Like
He finna
Margie
mess
and
it
others
up.
said.
He finna mess it
Commercial
up.
appeal.
Somebody compared it to. I actually heard it right before I came here. Somebody compared what could possibly be Johnny Manziel and Mike Singletary to Baker Mayfield and
Hugh
Jackson. I can see that. I can see
I
that.
ain't never
I can
heard.
see it.
So- Ooh-wee.
That looks like it could be
That's
it for
about right.
real.
But we won the 5. So Mike Singletary could bounce.
That's
I
true.
mean, the Browns didn't win either, so this is a perfect
Exactly.
comparison.
There we go.
A
There you
perfect
go.
It was
comparison.
about 1-5, wasn't it? It was about
No, it's about 0-6.
5 and 1.
Yeah, they're tied.
There you go.
Yep.
No, I'm just playing.
All right, man. It's time for our famous.
It's a time.
Yep.
Oh, here we go.
Roll or nah.
Let's do it.
I came ready today.
Well,
Nah,
you
know what?
take
With
the
that
floor.
being
Go
said,
ahead.
Floor is yours.
You took
I'll
that
go
beating
first.
last week. That's why you came ready.
So, for me, I've always been skeptical of John Calipari and his ability to coach. For him to have had the recruiting classes that he's had, I see you asking over there. For him to have had the recruiting classes that he's had
Only one chip.
and only one championship, which was
2012.
2012.
The one he shouldn't have lost because he had Anthony
There you
Davis.
go. So, made me look at Coach K and look at like the amount. Like, I mean, if we're gonna say that John Calipari has all these great recruiting classes but only one championship, now Coach K has 5. The last one he won was 2015. But at the same time, at some point, we got to put him on the same pedestal as John Calipari, which is you have all these great recruiting classes, but you don't have so many titles. And the last time he's won one was 2015. And with that team, nobody really expected them to win the national championship that year. So for me, trolling out, I think Coach K should have a look. He's under pressure to win the national championship this year.
No doubt. I'm not gonna front that.
I won't front that either.
They're putting him for one on their chopping block, and then putting Zion and comparing him to LeBron to coming through. I mean, anything to compare him to LeBron. So it's just like you have the new generation player that should come in and make a difference. So of course you having him, RJ Barrett, those people, you're supposed to win a championship.
Yeah,
you got them. The most electrifying player in the game right now.
Yes.
And it's kind of like you have the squad to win. You're expected to win, and with it being Coach K, since you have the top talent, you should be able to get that top talent to the championship.
Yeah.
So honestly, yeah, I feel it, but I feel that way every time he has a decent class. Now, 2015 when he won, I don't think he had a decent class.
No, that one was like a bunch. No, take it back.
No, that was a decent class.
Yeah,
that was a little over.
Yeah, my bad. I'm thinking about the 2010 one. Sorry.
Yeah,
I was thinking about the 2010.
He had a little over for Justice Winslow, Grayson Allen, Tyus Jones. Yeah.
I was thinking about the 2010.
He's thinking about the 2010 one.
2010, my bad.
Grayson Allen freshman year. Yeah, that was that team.
2010, they had like, shoot, that was the one they had. That one against
what's the
Butler.
Yeah, John Shire.
That one had like a bunch of seniors, like Nolan Smith.
Yeah.
That's a name.
Yeah. So for me, like I said, for me, he constantly has like either he has the best recruiting class, or he has the second best, and it's followed by Kentucky. So with you having these,
sometimes North Carolina,
North Carolina's probably like top 5, but it's always either Duke or Kentucky. Every time the recruiting classes are ranked.
That's true.
I mean, but how many times has Kentucky made it besides that 1 year?
Right. So no, I get that, but I'm saying as much as we harp on John Calipari for not winning these championships, he only has 1, and I mean Coach K has 2 within the past 10 years. But still, I mean, for you to constantly have number 1 recruiting class, for you to have the likes of Jason Tatum, Jabari Parker, Zion Williamson, all these good like players that are going like 1 and 2 and like top 5 in the NBA draft, like at some point you have to stop losing in the Sweet 16. You have to stop losing in the Elite 8. At least get to the Final 4 at least. He's not even doing that really. So that's what I'm saying. I think he needs to be. He's under pressure to win the national championship this year. That's why I said.
I would go no on them. I'd agree with you on that.
You can't go against.
You can't go against it. Yeah.
I hate to say it, but you have Zion. So it's like.
He just brought me a flashback reflecting on these. Whoa.
You going troll?
And the only reason I go troll is because unlike the NBA, you have one bad game in the tournament. That's it. Coach K has 5. When we boil down to it, he's already arguably the greatest coach of all time.
There's no doubt. Yeah, there's no doubt. But
my point is, the instant return, you have one bad game. That's it. Literally, year after year, for you to even consistently make the Sweet 16, year after year, is very good.
But NBA, why should you lose that one game and you got the best people in the country on your floor?
You're not the only one who had the best team.
Which I was going to make a point where you may have the best recruiting class, but they may not work great as a core.
Right.
So
Josh
right now,
Pastner.
what works for Duke is RJ and Zion. But I imagine if there was another all-star there, it'll kind of break it up and create problems. But right now, that core works for them. So I'll say Coach K may have had these superstars or whatever you want to call them, but the core wasn't right, or the backups weren't good enough to carry them and let those players rest. Right now, Zion has to play almost all game.
Right. They have no depth. And I actually don't get on John Calipari as much anymore because they do consistently almost make the Final 4. Almost every other
year. They take losses that you don't think Kentucky should take.
As long as you make it deep in the tournament, I think I don't look at you as bad, in that way.
Yeah, but that's my thing, and that's the reason why I bring this up. It's not like Duke is constantly in the Final 4. It's not like they're constantly in the Elite 8. Like they'll lose out of nowhere, like the second.
They'll lose just someone random.
It's only one time I remember them losing like very early. That was CJ McCollum at Lehigh.
Ooh, I was thinking about that.
Nah, they lost early to like LSU when they had was it?
That was back in 06. Yep, that was Glenn Davis.
They lost to him. They lost to VCU at one point. They lost to CJ McCollum. Them.
But I'm saying it's much time. If you make tournament almost 30 straight years, 20 straight years, that's going to happen at times at different points throughout.
Yeah.
Like I said,
it's like
core group.
Kansas is a team I look at as in they always choke it up almost every year. They literally always lose early. They either lose early or they win.
I'm gonna have to say Tro just because I take it a little off the court. When you're dealing with somebody like a Coach K or Roy Williams, we can go back to, Tennessee coach Pat Summitt, rest in peace. Most of these universities are based on, tradition.
Mm-hmm.
If I have a coach that's traditionally getting me to a certain place in a tournament and has the respect from the peers as being one of the greatest coaches of all time, I'm gonna wait till he call it a quiz. You know what I'm saying? I do understand what you're saying, that Coach K is feeling a lot of pressure. But at the same time, a lot of his players are first-year players. So, if they were to come in next year, I think he'd be under more pressure. But, hell, they mostly go into the draft. So it's like you really have to reestablish a team every year, because all you again is freshmen. And it's not a shot at Coach K. It's really a shot at the game and how freshmen are really coming over and dominating the college scene. So that's all
I'll hear that, and I'll say this, because Duke traditionally wasn't about just having star freshmen being one and done. They were all about having 4-year guys, having experience.
But that was a lot of college basketball coaches.
Yeah, that was a lot of college basketball, and Coach K probably was one of the second ones to kind of make the adjustment to say, all right, maybe I need to start getting these freshmen here, and just to go with he said, for him to go along with what John Calipari was doing, and to only have one national championship.
Times are changing. You can half the kids that are top players and everything making it out of high school want to be in the league within the shortest amount of time.
That's true.
Like that they can get there. So in order to continue to compete every year, you have to go for those guys that want to be one and done, or otherwise you're not going to get one of those top tier players. You can't tell somebody like Zion stay 4 years and I get you to the league, no problem. You I'm going somewhere else. I'm finna go over there with Calipari. He said he can give me one and done. He got a crib for me. They nice. I'm like, it's just plain and simple. Like, in order to compete and get these top players that want to be done, one and done, you got to go for them. You got to change up your tradition. My question was, while you was going, Took said Coach K was one of the greatest coaches ever. Who's better?
I mean,
why you just say the best coach?
I'll say ever. I'll say ever. Cool.
I'm just saying. I was just like, who else is topping Coach K?
That's true.
I mean, I was just talking on top of it.
UCLA coach back in the day.
Oh, John Wooden.
If
we want to just stick with probably our generation,
modern day,
modern day, probably Coach K, but all time John Wooden.
Yeah, I mean, Coach K is up there in a league of his own. But Tom Izzo definitely he has to get some type of respect though too.
Yeah.
He doesn't have all the accolades that Coach K has, but if you see how, especially this year, like he's had injuries like on his team and how he still gets them to perform in some of these big games, and like for them, I think they have. I can't remember the name of the guy. They have a really big injury in their team.
Yeah,
still a 2 seed
in the championship game.
Yeah.
That's why I don't give Kansas no pass. How about some injuries? Now Michigan State had the same injuries.
Well,
but no, I don't feel like that's a troll, but we can keep going.
All right,
go on.
Yeah. Oh, I'll go next. I'll stay in college basketball, and I'll bring it back home to our beloved Memphis Tigers.
Watch yourself, man. Watch yourself, man.
So basically, troll or no, with all of this transpired since the American Athletic Conference tournament, I think Memphis runs through the NIT, wins it, and jumpstarts all the smoke that we've been wanting with everybody. And I think if, and I do mean if, Tennessee were to lose to Cincinnati, and let's just say Memphis faces Loyola Chicago and beats Sister Jean throughout, and they go on to win an NIT, that jumps off the smoke. And that just, from that point on, sky's the limit for the Tigers.
Well, I can't say troll.
So what exactly? I'm sorry. Yeah, so what exactly?
It wasn't really a troll. No, it was just
right there.
Because I thought it was Memphis would win the NIT.
So I believe Memphis
is going to win the NIT.
I mean, you know my answer.
I mean,
you know my answer.
You know who win the NIT? I mean, I like it. I
like the idea.
I liken it. Basically, I compare the NIT to the NBA regular season. You don't know those teams. Most of those teams in that field, you don't know if they care or not. It's a matter of like, do Memphis care? Like, I think they do, but we don't. We won't know until they play.
That's true.
It's not troll, but I mean, I don't know how many teams gonna really play. That's trying to looks at it like, oh yeah, I want to win NIT championship.
I think for the sake of college basketball, you don't want Memphis to win this because if Memphis wins, boy.
That's why I said. Just don't jump off the smoke.
Oh, boy. Yes. You ain't going to be able to tell us nothing if we win it. This ain't even like just March Madness. This ain't even like the national championship. Like, this is just the NIT. If we win that, like, boy, like, we're gonna jump crazy. As far as if they'll win, I would love if they won, but I don't trust them as much as I would want to. It's going back to the scoring. They have really bad scoring droughts. A lot of times in games, they can go 5-6 minutes and not even score, and so you're like, oh well, I mean, yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, it was exactly. So I think they could do it because, like I said, we talked about this before we started. Nobody in this bracket like scares me. No, absolutely nobody. So I mean, they can definitely do it, but will they? I don't know. I would love to see it though. College basketball would not want to see it. Trust me.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all know pretty much my answer. Like, this is what we want to see for the whole season. One thing, y'all hit it right on the head. Like, we do have our scoring droughts. Rebounding has continued to be an issue for us for the longest, but. Looking at the NITs, like the teams, like you got teams like UNC Greensboro that are number one, and just I don't know. I think we could pull it off. So of course I'm going, not. So
don't sleep on UNC Greensboro now.
I mean,
they're number one seed for a reason. That means they were almost in this. They were I think they were the first team out of the tournament. If I ain't mistaken. So
yeah, whatever. We'll beat them.
And Memphis wasn't even close to making the tournament, so
we'll beat them.
Ooh, that play.
Oh, you ready?
Yeah, did you say your troll or not?
No. All right, so
I'm saying, did you say troll or not?
Hear me out on this.
He didn't.
Hold on, did you answer Trevor's?
Yeah.
Memphis will win the NIT.
That's a joke.
Hey, bro. Hey, hold on.
Got a little bit too much dip on your chip there.
Like me, he don't care about no NIT.
I haven't cared for the NIT in some years.
I care NIT since Memphis won the John 2002.
Like them games come on at 9:30. I ain't even watching. It's over for it.
All right.
That's a troll. No. Maybe next year. No. Can't do it.
We're going to be in the big tournament.
We'll be in the tournament next year. That'll be in the NCAA tournament next year.
I'll tell you better, but knock on wood, you would hope you get in.
No, we'll be
all right, so go ahead, man. Since it's like the first time Memphis has been hyped for a recruiting class coming in and inserting our dominance, my troll and all is this draft class. Well, I hate to say draft class. This class is better than the Derrick Rose class.
That's not a troll because that Derrick Rose class is really just Derrick Rose. Because Antonio Anderson and them were already there.
See, I was already there.
I'm Tigers player. I'm not trying to call.
You talking about the recruiting?
You talking about the recruiting
though?
class from everybody or just
like
the Tigers?
talking about just the team?
I'm the whole team.
So you saying this upcoming Tigers?
You talking about this upcoming Tigers team?
Don't think about
You talking about the
NBA.
team?
Yes, the team.
I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about like straight up their recruiting class or
that team.
their team. Yeah, their team.
So this upcoming team is better than the 2000.
Could potentially be better than 08.
Seven.
The 08 squad.
Oh wait.
I really can't answer because they're not done.
Yeah.
That's why it's hard. Unless you want me to
Do
predict.
you expect more out of them than the 2000?
I expect more out of the upcoming team because of the coaching.
Yeah.
You know?
So you trying to say Calipari wasn't it?
No, I don't speak more.
Yeah.
I don't speak.
He was a hell of a recruiter, but coaching, when is Calipari really coached?
Up in the tournament.
Much talent as Memphis would have.
But that's because he's able to recruit A1 players, but he's not coaching them as what Leo just said earlier, right? When does Calipari really coach the team?
Playing time.
When?
He produced a great John Wall.
All right, cool. So back to
this trolling off.
Back to this trolling off.
That's a trolling out right there. He produced John Wall.
Let's be real about Trippin. Let's be real about Trippin.
Do you expect this team to be better than the 08 squad?
I don't.
No.
No. I don't expect that.
But this is the first time the city been hyped for all this.
Yeah, because when the last time we made the NCAA tournament?
You ain't made it yet.
Exactly. That's why
I'm saying for Wiseman and everything. So there's no telling we gonna make it next year.
We got to make the tournament
Wiseman
first.
might do a one and done, be in the NIT
He is
playing
gonna be
like
one
the
and done.
NCAA tournament.
That's what I'm saying though. They gotta. I'm looking. My expectation is to make the tournament. The 08 team went to the national championship.
Yeah.
That's why it's allowed.
The biggest thing for me, I would hope and expect that this team. Well, I mean, even still, because I mean, you're talking about Penny's second year, like coaching, and you're talking about like they're still implementing new things to the team for the
Half
city
squad
and stuff like
players.
that.
I was just literally about to say
Yeah.
this is second year coaching in college, but he's
Bingo.
had these boys literally since high school,
Right.
essentially.
I mean,
so you're gonna put the same system in play. You know what I'm saying? Alo, the game's gonna slow down for Alo. He's gonna get his best friend James Wiseman. We see the unicorn he is, and we're still recruiting. Like, this can be a really dangerous team next year.
Yeah.
And you still got players coming off the bench. You know, the game will slow down for Tyler Harris too.
Yeah.
So, you know,
My two biggest factors, one of them is what Sharky said. I need to see what the team looks like at the end. And then two, again, I think it has to go back to, at that time, Memphis was playing in the Conference USA. Besides Memphis, who was another team that like scared you in the Conference USA? Nobody, right? So that, I mean, of course they were win 30 games, and so they kind of puts you in a specific. That gives you a number one seed. But Memphis will play again. They'll be in the same conference as Cincinnati. Houston's up there.
Wichita State
they can still come up there. UConn can still come up out of nowhere. So I mean, if they get a couple losses to them, that affects their seeding, and so that of course that eventually determines like who you end up playing in a tournament. But I think if they can get Trendon Walford, I like Trendon Walford, and if they can get like Legero Vic. Or they can just, or like it's a transfer.
So,
if they get one more shooter and Trendon Walford or something like that, or Lester Keonis.
That's Keonis and the other dude, Princess Achuba.
Yeah.
They're really close. They said if we get both of them, we had the number one recruiting class.
Because I think
we get Keonis and Wofford, we had number two recruiting class.
I think if you can get two of those, then I think your team automatically is better than that national championship.
Yeah,
team.
they'll be more talented.
It's more complete. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I'll say it's more complete. I'll give you that because that team was a lot of Derrick Rose, and TDR. But
they were experienced.
Yeah,
that's the difference with me.
Mm-hmm.
That team, you already had CDR and Antonio.
Yeah,
He had a couple years in.
He was a junior
and
at that time.
and they had been to the Elite Eight every 2 years in a row, back to back. Then Derrick Rose came in, brought them over the top.
I think the key thing in determining whether or not this team would be better than the 08 team would be chemistry, because that 08 team had chemistry out of this world,
and that's what kind of scares me with the.
And that's what scares me with the upcoming team.
If you do get Keonis and those guys, where are the minutes for everybody? At that point, and you got all these local players.
Mm-hmm.
So Tyler Harris, Alo.
I told y'all to leave.
Yep, that's when the problem comes into play all of a sudden.
But for me, I don't know. And this is just me. I don't think that'll be a problem for Penny. I mean, of course, it's going to naturally be a problem, but I guess I don't think it'll be a problem for the players. I think if he was able to switch the lineups in the way that he did, like he started the season starting a bunch of freshmen, then the season kind of went on, and then he ended up starting a bunch of seniors and stuff like that, and nobody, at least to our knowledge, has had an issue with it. So I don't think if it wasn't an issue this year. I mean, of course, you'll probably have bigger egos on the team next year because you have better players.
Yeah.
But
You got a whole different class.
I just believe in Penny, and I believe in his ability to kind of make sure everybody's happy at the end of the day. So I don't think that'll be an issue.
Go on.
That's a great one.
I'll go.
Let's do it.
So throughout the podcast, I've been, made known of making outlandish statements. Some have come true, some have not come true, and one's definitely coming. So there's a team that I said was going to make the playoffs earlier this season by the name of the Los Angeles Clippers. By the way it's looking, they're going to make the playoffs.
You said top 4 seed, my guy.
Yeah.
Top 4. I mean, whatever.
Correct it. Correct it.
No, because they're only one game away from being a top 4 seed. Okay. So, I mean, okay, cool. I keep it top 4. All right. Top 4
That's what I'm saying. Keep it at top 4.
Yeah.
But with that being said, there's a team that I've been questioning on whether or not they're going to make the playoffs the last couple of months, and that is the Los Angeles Lakers. So, looking forward into kind of.
I know, right?
Can I get my question out?
Go ahead. Wrap it up.
I was actually finna,
wrap it up.
That's what she said.
Ashton, I was actually finna give you credit because you've been, a very sightseeing person this episode. So I was gonna ask for that same kind of sightseeing. Trolling all, the Clippers will have a better record than the Lakers next year again.
Once again, I got to see free agency first.
That's what's gonna hit. I don't think y'all gonna get any free agents.
So I got
or any
free
free agents that y'all think that y'all gonna get.
You're entitled to think
year.
that way. You're entitled to think that way.
Anthony Davis don't get free till the year
after. So that's a cap space for another year.
That's if they don't trade him to Boston in off season.
I'll go first. I guess it's not a troll, but I do expect the Lakers to make the playoffs. Because LeBron's gonna rest a lot probably next year.
Okay.
he gonna skate through the regular season.
I'm not saying play. I'm saying that the Clippers record wise will have a much better record than the Lakers.
In the regular season, but they might not go farther than them in the playoffs. So I say that's not true.
It all depends on free agency moves.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I can't wait to then. I can't predict free agency.
Yeah.
So I'm basically saying Clippers gonna get someone.
We don't expect Kyrie to move just till next year too.
He's moving.
He's
gone.
He's going to
He's a free agent.
Like, he coming to New York.
That's what I'm saying. It depends.
He's going somewhere this summer.
Yeah, he's leaving.
If LA, I feel like if LA doesn't make a move,
Can you bring that back up in the summertime after the off-season moves?
Yeah.
I mean, we can, but I just wanted to say something about the Lakers because they're not making the playoffs.
You
this
want
year.
to puncture a wound and
Pour salt on the wound. That's all it
Very
is.
petty. I
That's
had
all
no
it is.
intentions on bringing up the Lakers today. Trust me, you.
Like, they got the best player in the world, quote unquote. And they didn't
But
make
at the end of
playoffs.
the day, we're making it to the point where one player is not enough to carry anybody. I mean, LeBron been getting it done because he's been on the Eastern Conference. Hate to say it, but he's been on the Eastern
The
Conference.
East has been trash.
A lot of people can't hold him. One of them be Otto Porter. I point that out. 50 points, Mr. 50 points. Anyway,
I was really trying to figure out how you brought that name up.
because I remember him hitting 51 on Otto Porter. But either way it goes, LeBron has been able to make it to the finals every year and only have to fight maybe Golden State, and they got to have a bad game or bad games. Or who else has been going against LeBron out the West?
Spurs. Same.
Yeah,
thing.
it's so weird to say that.
Yeah.
Whole squad 84. I don't understand,
Bro.
But at the end of the day,
Said the whole squad 84.
with LeBron winning his championships, it takes more than just him. And there's no shade, no shot being thrown because it took Pippen, it took Tony Kukoc, what is that, Horace Grant. It took other players for Michael to get where he wanted to go.
Yep.
Now I'm not gonna strip, like I said, you can't strip nothing from Michael because he did still carry them folks, but they did their part. Right now, LA, the way they're so discombobulated, the chemistry is not there. LeBron's sitting on the end of the bench. Trust me, I pulled them moves. I ain't talking to nobody. I'm at the end of the bench. I don't get along with none of y'all. I don't care for y'all. It is what it is. I'm here to get my buckets and go. And I feel like LA is kind of I feel like they're kind of against LeBron right now. Even their own fans. Savage is one of them against LeBron. You got the greatest player, and you feel like he's the problem. What was y'all record last year?
36 and 46.
It's looking the same whether LeBron was there or not. He's not the problem. The whole squad is the problem. You're just trying to force pieces to work. And so next year, I'm pretty sure it'll change. The Clippers still may come out with a better record, though.
Yeah.
Regular season. I can see it.
But it depends on
It's
the
still
move.
wait,
It
yeah.
still
I still
depends
got-
on the
I
move.
got to wait on free agency.
If LeBron pulls a famous moves and end up with Kyrie somehow, I know it ain't gonna happen, but something like that happened, that changes that record.
It's possible.
I'm just saying, but that's the only factor I
All
can
right, so
see.
y'all making me change my troll or nonsense. We can't look that far into the future. So y'all making me do this one. Troll or no, the Washington Wizards will have a better record than the Los Angeles Lakers by the end of this season.
The shade he throwing in this
Hold
show.
on.
Jesus. You say this season?
I don't even know what I
The
read.
Lakers, no. The Lakers have
not that
31
far.
wins and the Wizards have 30. Troll or no.
Bro, I don't even care. I guess.
I just have to think of a troll or no.
I guess it's not a troll. I mean, Brady
The
Beal
Wizards
put
will have
up
a better
40.
record
Dude,
than the Lakers.
I'll say
The
no.
Wizards will have a better
Yeah.
record.
Brady Beal just put up 40.
Because the team literally does not care anymore.
Yeah.
We just lost to the Knicks. Come on now.
Y'all lost to,
They-
y'all lost to the Suns too, didn't it?
Yes.
They trying to get that. They trying to get that lottery pick and dangle it to New Orleans and try
That's
again.
not
So because I'm not talking, I don't want to talk much about the Lakers. Yes, the Wizards will have a better record than the Lakers.
This is saying a lot because we ain't getting John Wall back for a while. We ain't getting John Wall back for
They
a
said saying
minute,
a
bro.
lot like they were good with John Wall.
That's his man being petty, bro.
Because actually, I had troll. I'm gonna keep my troll now. Then
Nah, you gotta say it
No,
now.
you gotta say it.
Oh,
Say it
here we
now.
go.
Come on. End the show strong.
Brady Beal's better than John Wall.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
with
going
you.
all the way left troll.
That's not even a question.
That's not a question to answer.
Bro, he got like
Yes,
20, 30 point games this year or something like that. 20 point games.
You the only person that got to shoot.
When has John Wall ever did that?
He got to distribute the ball. One guy plays point guard, one guy doesn't.
How often does he distribute the ball?
All the time. Take my guy assist.
That man,
Pull up my boy
then
stat.
in the game 7
Y'all ain't
against
gonna
Boston,
do my
then in the
boy
game 7
disrespect.
against Boston in the full court, he went like 0 for 9.
Bang, bang.
In the fourth quarter.
Bang,
One
bang.
night in your apartment, he smacked them 2 threes and sent them.
And at the very next game, he won for 9 in the fourth quarter.
My boy get tired. That's all.
Nah, that was time to win. Those games ever. Against Isaiah
Where your Chicago Bulls at?
I'm a Philly fan.
Hey.
Did you see us beat Milwaukee last night?
I didn't flip my jersey this year.
Yep, I sure did.
My boy
I'm proud
hurt,
of it too.
and I'm still rocking it with the Wizards. You need to
Too
own
bad
your.
you're not a Wizards fan because
That's why
John
you got
Wall
the hoodie
leave.
on.
You gonna
You got
go with
the
John
hoodie on
Wall
for a reason.
I got the hoodie on because I got no more
Otto
hoodies.
Porter made you put that
Trust
hoodie
me,
back
John
on.
Wall ain't going nowhere. Trust me, John Wall ain't going nowhere.
Even if you wanted to,
Trust
ain't
me.
going no.
Trust me, the
Wizards-
Lakers need that nigga right now.
You said Wizards
Straight
No,
up.
we don't.
Yeah, they do.
You
Y'all
said-
need a point guard.
We
Either
have
way
a
it
point
go.
guard.
Own your team up on your chest. Own Otto Porter that you own now.
John
Great.
Wall has a PER of 18, and Bradley Beal has a PER of 21.
Who scores more?
Rest my case.
Who scores more points? Bradley Beal.
Yeah, he's your shooter. And plus, Bradley
a
Beal is
scorer.
up this year because he's definitely been out. So think about that. So my boy's 20 points this year is definitely from him coming playing every other game
So that
before
means
he got
you
hurt.
Get rid of John Wall so Bradley Beal can shine.
That's what it sounds like to
Too
me.
bad.
I
Too
mean, he
bad
been
it
shining
ain't
this
finna
whole
happen.
year, and guess what? He still got 30 wins and 41
Because he
losses.
needs some more pieces. Trade John Wall for some more pieces to be able to fit him.
Ain't nobody finna come up with that contract, man.
Lakers, I'm telling you, we'll turn the whole Lakers record around next year. You get John Wall.
All right, let's end this.
All right. On that note, ladies
It's your
and gentlemen.
fault. Right. So let's end it. It's your fault.
Definitely have some deleted scenes on this one. But anyway, the end of the episode is a good one, guys. Remember, we are powered by the Binge Podcast Network. Shout out to iHeartMedia and 1019 Kiss FM. You can listen to us on any podcast platform. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at LBR Sports 901 and join the Facebook group at the Let's Be Real group. All right, we out.
Peace.
Johnny Football.
Go Memphis.